just want some money, baby, so right now I can't be sexual. Let me check my schedule, I gotta water my vegetables. My niggas.
What is good? Back with another video. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. 30ry.com, you feel me? Cop your tees and whatever cool clothing we got coming. You feel me? Again, this is gonna be a pretty long video. We're gonna let this motherfucker rock out into the video, to the camera die. I'm hoping to get like an hour in. We are 40 minutes in so far off of 2 videos. So we're gonna start from here. As you can see today, since it's gonna be the last one, I brought in my guy, Fat Friend. Y'all know Fat Friend. You feel me? We about to get lit. We ain't gonna waste no time. He's currently not indulging, but I am. Good Gas is on. Shout out to Loot Boy Media. He made that a thing. Also, shout out to the Cloud Service for getting us right with this. Rawcon, fuck with me. Sponsor me. I told you, that's all I use. All right, let's not waste no time. Let's get into it, man. Part 3, or chapter 3, and our final chapter.
King Von's sister would announce from his Twitter account on February the 11th, 2014, that he would be home from jail tomorrow, with footage of Von cutting off his ankle monitor and throwing up gang signs circulating online after his release. When he got back out, he would be back on the streets and involving himself in gang politics once again. His first tweet out was dissing the ops, of course. He would also openly wonder where T-Roy went, as apparently his partner in crime had ended up in jail himself during this time. Also upon his release, Von would also tweet at famous names in the Chicago drill scene like Boss Top, Lil Reese, Chief Keef, E-Day, Rondo Number 9, and Capo. He would then go on to diss 2 people that he allegedly killed, Modell and Crack, but at least initially, it didn't appear that Von was able to commit any more acts of violence, because apparently, following his release, he would wind up on house arrest for a short period. But that didn't stop him from posting pictures of himself at home, dissing Tuka with a gun sticking out of his pocket. Pictures of Von with famous BD hitters like T-Roy and D-Rose would circulate around this time, with the likes of Chief Keef even reposting them as a sign of respect for the most feared local shooters, with Von also sharing pictures of his crew to Twitter openly, with the caption simply reading, "Gang members." Von would also tweet about it being a very scary year for the ops, even tweeting disrespectful collages featuring photographs of rivals who had been killed recently. Von didn't care one bit what he was posting on Twitter, and honestly, it didn't seem like the police cared either. Von tweeted openly that he will kill someone on St. Lawrence, promising to shoot ops in the face and kill them fast, dropping mocking tweets about people he had allegedly killed, like Modell. He would pledge to drop even more bodies, even tweeting that he was shooting as soon as he got off house arrest, and tweeting that he just got a new gun and he wanted to do a drive-by with it. Now, on March the 25th, 2014, GD rapper Lil Mark, associated with a crew called 051, would drop a song called No Competition. This would be a remix of Black Disciple rappers Lil Durk and Lil Reese's 2013 song Competition. Lil Mark would essentially use Lil Durk's beat to diss him and his OTF crew from Lamron. But it wasn't just Durk that was getting dissed. Lil Mark would diss numerous people associated with the Black Disciples, including people from both O-Block and an affiliated crew of BDs known as 600. Lil Mark's song would mock O.D. Perry and J Money and see him rapping openly that he is a Black Disciple killer, as well as proudly repping his affiliations to his gang set 051 Young Money. This song made Lil Mark a huge target for both O-Block.
So I do know about 051 Melly. I don't know if you watched it. Then again, you probably did. It was one of my videos. I did an 051 Melly. Go check that out. Matter of fact, I'll pin that right here. I mean, I'm going to actually watch the video when I edit it, but I'm going to pin it right here, man.
And 600. And around this period, King Von would frequently tweet that he was in traffic, riding around the city, armed and looking for ops to kill. On March the 28th, 2014, Von would tweet that he was in traffic, tagging D-Rose, an infamous shooter from the O-Block affiliated set 600, with D-Rose himself tweeting that the cops hate to see Von, T-Roy, and him all together. Von would tweet gunshot emojis around 10 a.m. on the 28th of March 2014. And only a few hours later, that very same day, around 1:30 p.m., it's believed that a large group of gang members were riding around in a silver minivan with Florida license plates, most likely a stolen car. Meanwhile, a 20-year-old Mark Campbell, aka Lil Mark, was at a bus stop on the 300 block of East 51st Street. It's believed that that minivan pulled up and a masked man jumped out, shooting Lil Mark in the head, with Mark ultimately being pronounced dead at the scene only minutes later at 1:41 p.m. And that minivan connected to the shooting being found in flames at 6:30 p.m. that very night. It's widely believed that D-Rose was the shooter, with King Von being present for this murder. D-Rose even posted a clip to social media of him and his friends returning to the scene of the crime and filming, where King Von can allegedly be heard in the background of the car.
It's a 2-51st! Damn, body down. I don't know. Tweaking, bro.
That's him in the car,
Body down, 51st gang.
Circulate online. but that's far too graphic to show you on
made a
YouTube.
black
D. Rose would tweet, "Call 'em, never heard of 'em," with a laughing face just 36 minutes after the killing. King Von would tweet, just 42 minutes after the shooting, "Die why?" with a bunch of laughing faces, with this being a sign of disrespect to Lil Mark's gang 051 Young Money. That tweet was then followed by Von saying 051 better keep their head up with a bunch of laughing emojis. Then he says he lives for this, F the ops. And just in case there was any doubt about King Von being present for that murder, he would also reply to somebody on Twitter discussing Lil Mark, saying outright he just saw the murder, with King Von going on to tweet at other O-Block affiliates that they would be celebrating that night. Von was speaking so recklessly on Twitter, his sister would even tell him to go in the house, with the defiant Von replying to her with gunshot and demon emojis, then tweeting that Lil Mark's death was getting him attention from women, even going as far to say that Lil Mark's pregnant girlfriend might have cheated on him. Followed by another tweet a few days later, where Von claimed that he leaves people dead at the bus stop just like Tuka. A tweet that's even more disrespectful when you learn that Lil Mark was actually Tuka's older brother. D. Rose would also tweet the day after the murder, saying you ain't gotta ask who shot him, indicating that he was indeed the shooter of Lil Mark, as well as proudly saying that he was smoking on Marco. But Von and D. Rose weren't the only ones celebrating the death of Lil Mark, because Lil Durk, the original subject of Lil Mark's diss song No Competition, released just 3 days before he was killed, would end up making a trip to the very bus stop where Mark was gunned down, with Durk telling his followers that this was a very special place.
Hey, this bus stop right here though, this a real famous place, yeah? It's a real famous place, B. Hey, this bus stop is a real famous place, B. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because of all of the attention from rappers about this incident, Lil Mark's death became news beyond the local Chicago papers, with this killing taking place during the heyday of DJ Academic's War in Chirac series, where Academics would report satirically on the Chicago drill scene and the shocking crimes going on within it.
Just the obvious, you can't be beefing in Chicago and have a bus pass. You gotta have a gang carpool or something. Shit, you gotta have a courtesy bulletproof gang whip. You can't go from dropping a video with Tech 9s, AKs, and Uzis all in a video to be outside, standing at the bus stop, looking on your phone on Instagram and looking at the bus schedule.
King Von himself would even go on to rap about killing people at bus stops many years later, as well as on the song Exposing Me, where he says that he is smoking Lil Mark and Tuka. And Lil Durk would go on to do the same thing, rapping in the December 2014 track War with E-Day 600, also saying that he is smoking Lil Mark and Tuka. Now, it's never been definitively confirmed who killed Lil Mark, but it's widely believed that the two most likely hitters are D. Rose or King Von. But whether or not King Von actually did it, he clearly got a lot of gratification from just witnessing this murder, further fueling this strange bloodlust that he was cultivating around this time. If he wasn't the one killing, then he would at least want a front row seat and an opportunity to tweet about it. However, it would be the next murder that would seemingly be Von's most proud moment in the streets, because he would end up finally catching somebody who he had wanted to get for years, leaving clues on Twitter all the way up to the killing. And then, in an insanely twisted turn, not only would Von get away with the murder, but he would go on to appear in a documentary interview about the victim without anybody even working out that the killer that they were looking for was sitting right in front of the camera.
She was popping shit. I did a video on her too. K.I. was rocking shit. They said K.I.
17-year-old gangster disciple Jakira Barnes, aka K.I., was a legendary figure in Chicago gang history, with the Chicago Sun-Times describing her in a prominent feature as a prolific female assassin in the Chicago gang war. K.I. has been described as the real-life Snoop from The Wire, a reference to the masculine female killer from HBO's crime drama. K.I. herself had been close with Tuka growing up, and her rumored involvement in the killing of O.D. Perry in retaliation would make her feud with Lil Brock deeply personal. No doubt King Von was obsessed with K.I. Von and K.I. would have extensive back and forths on Twitter, with it being unclear whether he was trying to date her or kill her. Their first interaction occurred on September 25th, 2012, when Von would tweet claiming to have beaten up an op girl on the train, with K.I. replying to this saying their arm, ear and face were injured, but she's not bothered because her gun will put a hole in her ops' faces, with a tweet the following day indicating that she had perhaps shot at Von or somebody that he knows. They would go on to have a back and forth, with Von asking K.I. if she's a gangster or a bitch, with K.I. indicating that she is indeed a real gangster. Von would go on to reply to her posts shouting out her gang, asking her why he never sees her when he spins the block, with K.I. replying that Von can die just like White White, with Von saying she better kill him because he will kill her and she doesn't have the good aim like he does. That same day, KI would tell her followers to retweet if they think she looks good. King Von retweeted it. KI would tweet saying that she'd beaten up someone from O-Block and that they should go and tell Von that she is tough. This would prompt a reply from Von, where he would say he can tell that she's tough and jokingly asking her if she's looking for a boyfriend, as well as expressing doubt that she had even beat up his friend, with her replying saying she'd caught an O-Block member on the train who had denied being from there when beaten up, with King Von's sister chiming in claiming to have been there too, and KI saying that her victim didn't even punch her back. All this provoked a sarcastic reply from Von, where he said that he thinks he was falling in love with this fighting female. Von would later post tweets where he said that he's going to treat her right if she becomes his wifey, and later beginning to regularly refer to her as wifey. When KI replied to Von, Von would say that he has her on his mind a lot and that he misses her, even telling his sister that he wanted to marry KI. Now, many years later, somebody on 4chan would claim to have hacked KI's private DMs on Twitter and revealing that around this time, Von had DM'd KI asking her if she wanted to hook up, or more specifically saying he wants to nail her. She would reply saying she's not interested, to which Von replies, when all of this is over, he will have her. More alleged tweets would see KI asking Von straight up if O-Block are plotting to kill her, to which Von replies, he's not gonna lie, there are people looking to kill her. But Von would say he doesn't think he can kill her, because he thinks she seems cool as hell, even having the nerve to ask her when she's going to stop gangbanging. KI would reply saying she's not going to stop, calling King Von a goofy and asking him when he's going to stop. Von would laugh and tell her that he's gangbanging until he dies, and that he will never lose or quit, with KI ultimately agreeing with this and saying that she's planning the same thing, before mocking Von, saying he must feel really threatened by her, and questioning if he really thinks they can kill her. Von replies saying that they're trying to kill anyone, they're not just desperate for her specifically, before revealing that he had apparently had his gun on him when he beat her up on the train, but saying he didn't kill her because the police were there along with a woman from his block, with Von saying that if he really wanted to kill her, he would have took his chances and shot her in the train or the street. In response to this, KI would reply, come and get it, because she's ready to go to war with anyone, with Von clapping back, questioning why she takes things so seriously. After this alleged private exchange, Von would reply to a public tweet of hers dissing OD Perry and reminding her that he beat her up, even saying that he wishes he'd spat on her afterwards. Now, Von began to use KI pretty much for entertainment, beefing her on Twitter whenever he was bored, but KI would be looking for Von in real life, however. Von would tweet that he has his ops scared at the corner store, and KI would reply saying that she's on the way looking for him, also tweeting asking where he is, with Von replying sarcastically telling her to be safe in the streets. More alleged leaked DMs between KI and Von would emerge, with KI asking Von where he was, with the two of them seemingly arranging a shootout, with KI even asking if T-Roy can come too. KI later claimed to have walked through O-Block and not seen a soul, with Von saying that they're too busy to have a shootout right now. Von would later allegedly DM KI, telling her to call him when she's ready to put a dress on and let her hair down. They'd keep going back and forth on Twitter publicly, building up this insane public history. KI tweeted that she was going to the store, and Von would warn her not to. Von would tweet reminding her that he had beaten her up on the train, with her saying that he's been hiding ever since. Von would clap back, asking when she's coming back to his block for a date, and KI would then remind Von of all the times that people from her side had beaten him up. Other O-Block members would tweet their intentions to kill KI too, and she would tweet that she wants to see King Von face to face, and Von would reply, she really doesn't. One tweet would see Von say that he'd spent all day trying to get KI on the phone and that her voice sounded sexy. Even after Von went to jail in 2013, Von's sister would tweet at KI saying that Von had asked her to go and visit him in jail, with Von's sister later suggesting that she had even had a fist fight with KI and saying that she will see her on 63rd, perhaps for another fight. When Von was released from jail in 2014, he would tweet at KI and ask if she missed him, with her replying, asking when they're meeting up, and adding 4 gun emojis, with Von expressing disappointment that KI didn't come and see him in jail like he'd asked. Now, bear in mind, tweeting at KI was one of the first things that Von did upon getting out of jail. He tweeted her twice before he had tweeted at Chief Keef or any of his actual friends from O-Block. He was obsessed, but KI would continue to mock Von, asking him how it felt for his friends to die while he was in jail, even retweeting Von's own tweet saying rest in peace J Money, and going on to insult him in a tweet of her own. This was a reference to Von's friend J Money from O-Block, who had been killed in September 2013 whilst he was in jail, with Von retaliating, saying rest in piss to Crack and Modell, with Von even later tweeting that he can't be mad at women unless they're ops, in which case they can die, and another tweet saying how desperate he was to catch a female op. Von and KI would tweet at each other much less in 2014, perhaps because Von was looking to reduce the paper trail leading to him if KI wound up dead. But in the days following Little Mark's death in April 2014, Von would release some brazen tweets. On the 1st of April, he would tell a friend that he would never start rapping and that he prefers killing ops, and tweeting that he had bodies on his gun. On the 6th of April, KI would tweet saying, "People won't get the picture until you put them in the frame," along with a gun emoji. That same day, Von would tweet saying, "If you're not where I'm from, you will get killed." That was followed the next day by Von tweeting that he was always looking for a woman and he can't find her, and saying he will stop looking and let her look for him. He would then go on to tweet on the 10th of April that there's some women he would do anything for, telling her to just hit his line. That would be followed by another tweet saying if a girl leaves him, then she's leaving the best, with it unclear if he's talking about her leaving him or her leaving this earth. That was followed by more tweets where Von would say if a girl is with the ops, then she's getting shot, and that he's not playing with op girls this summer and they should watch out. In the early hours of the next morning, KI would make the ominous tweet, "In the end, we die," as well as tweeting her apparent location just off 63rd. And later that afternoon, KI would be standing on a nearby porch in the 6400 block of South Eberhart Avenue, only a 3-minute walk towards O Block from the location that she had tweeted she was at earlier that day. And that was the day that King Von would allegedly find that woman that he had been looking for all this time, as KI would indeed be gunned down on April the 11th, 2014. The murder report on KI's death would feature a witness describing the shooter who hopped out of a car, catching KI and another man who were about to shoot dice. They would run into a gangway, but the shooter kept firing, apparently even shouting, "Yeah, bitch-ass N-words," as he fired the handgun at KI multiple times. She would be shot 9 times and declared dead just 2 hours later.
For Chantel Brown, the statistics are more than just numbers. Within 12 short hours across Chicago, 14 people were wounded, 2 people killed, one of them being Brown's oldest child.
I'm just going to miss her presence. She was a very, very beautiful, well-known, lovely girl.
17-year-old Jakira Barnes loved basketball, her friends, and being with family. It's still under investigation what exactly happened Friday afternoon in the 6400 block of South Eberhart, but neighbors say Barnes and a friend were walking along the sidewalk when a gunman started firing.
When the bullet hit her, it was so powerful she fell on the step.
Residents who do not want to be identified say Barnes fought to live, but had been shot at least 9 times.
In the jaw, in the neck, and in the chest, and in the leg. 9 times, they say.
Barnes was transported to Northwestern where she died, and tragically for this neighborhood, it wasn't the first child lost to gunfire.
And Von would go on to tweet just hours after KI was pronounced dead, saying that he loves his gang and they love him, before tweeting, "Mad that nobody misses him." And this was followed by people confirming that KI had been killed. O-Block veteran Jay Hood would reveal in a Cam Capone interview many years later that Von came back to O-Block and told him what he'd done immediately after the murder.
But he literally say just like this, I'm looking straight, he man, why I just run up on KI and why I just ran up on them niggas and caught KI. She was the last one running out of the gate. I was like, nigga, no way, cause bro, KI was like a pest.
The day after the hit, Black Disciple rapper Lil Reese would tweet Von's catchphrase saying that he does his thing, seemingly a congratulatory post to Von, who replied saying, "You gots to." Von would later tweet that he needs a real bitch, and over the next few days, he would once again deliver a flurry of activity on Twitter, tweeting that his ops don't scare him and that the whole gang war is funny to him. He would say that he's lost a lot of friends, so his enemies must die in retaliation. Von would also tweet saying that people wouldn't believe the things that he does in the streets, and saying that he will never tell. Von would even copy KI's earlier tweet from the week before her murder about people not getting the picture until you put them in the frame, as well as tweeting at her, saying he misses his old girl. Von was clearly in a celebratory mood following the murder of KI, and he would go on to make post after post referencing the ongoing gang war, posting tributes to T-Roy, telling his incarcerated friend that he was going crazy on the streets while he was locked up. Von was seemingly proud of himself for all he was achieving in the streets at this point. He would seemingly update his body count to 6, openly tweeting "homicide in the air" and that he made 6 people extinct for playing hard. Von would even post his own mugshot saying they should have never freed him because he's a menace. He tweeted that he put people's brains in their lap. and asked his followers if they would still be there for him when he gets 100 years in jail. Von would suggest that he is only competing in kill counts with T-Roy, suggesting that those two were the most deadly people in the streets at this time. And he would claim to wake up in the morning thinking of nothing but killing people. Other rappers and well-known figures around Chicago drill would continue to tweet congratulating King Von after this murder, people like Lil Reese and Boss Top. And Von would also tweet on April the 28th that there's only two places for a man like him, presumably jail or hell. Clearly, he must have had an inkling, as he would end up being picked up in connection to the murder the following day, on the 29th of April. But Von would never be formally charged with K.I.'s murder. He would deny even knowing her, and would initially offer to do a polygraph test, as well as providing a loose alibi, relying on a woman claiming that she had been with him the entire day of the murder. Combine that with the fact that Von had apparently checked in with his parole officer just an hour before the murder, worked in his favour, despite the crime scene being only 35 minutes from the parole office, meaning that Von had over 25 minutes spare to get there and kill K.I. immediately after signing in with his PO. As a result of these slick maneuvers, Von would indeed be released the next day and face no further consequences in this situation. And he would tweet that he beat that case like Rocky and that he was in a good mood, showing love to everyone but the ops. That was followed by him tweeting laughing faces and saying that he was grateful to be free and that he's too real. A few days later, Von would be tweeting that he beats bodies and that he doesn't plan on going to prison, as well as seemingly referencing K.I.'s resemblance to Snoop from The Wire and calling her a dead op. Years later, Von would even go on to brag about killing K.I. on songs after he started rapping, famously saying on the track War With Us that he put a pretty op bitch in the morgue, you can call her drop dead gorgeous, as well as saying that he keeps a strap like K.I. on the song GTA. For years following this murder, people, including myself, speculated on whether King Von had killed K.I., or whether it was the work of fellow O-Block hitter Big A, who reportedly went by the nickname ASCII, or Ask K.I., after her death, suggesting that he had something to do with her killing. But in lyrics to King Von's leaked song Wait, he seemingly rapped about the day that he caught K.I., with lyrics a lot of people believe would allude to Von jumping out of the car and chasing K.I. down the alley, with Big A being the driver. Von would also rap on the song Cousins that he kills women and men and can't tell the difference. But it wasn't just Von. Lil Durk would also rap in December of 2014, the year that K.I. was killed, on the song War with E-Day, seemingly suggesting that he had owned a gun that was used in K.I.'s murder. Now, rapping about someone that you killed is one thing, but King Von actually went on to do one of the most psychopathic things I have ever seen. Because on May the 23rd, 2019, a documentary about K.I. would air on A&E titled Secret Life of a Gang Girl. This piece goes in depth into the life of K.I., exploring her motivations to become a gang member despite being a petite young woman, as well as interviewing some of the people that knew her during this time. And that documentary about K.I. would interview none other than King Von, who was featured prominently in the documentary, and if you ask me, he was just straight up trolling the TV crew, who clearly hadn't done their homework. Von would appear in the show, portraying himself as having been an infatuated admirer, pursuing K.I. for nothing but romantic reasons.
We entered O-Block, Black Disciples turf, to speak with King Von.
But film crew didn't even have an inkling that Von was responsible is just crazy to me. And it's not like the info that he killed K.I. wasn't already circulating out there at this point. Because while Von is in jail for his next murder in 2016, word of his story as a shooter in the Chicago gang war would spread on the edgy message board 4chan, where a gang-obsessed 4chan member would claim to have accessed K.I.'s private DMs, exposing those private messages which we already saw between King Von and K.I. all the way back in 2012. With this deranged 4chan user even replying to friends of K.I. from her account who had continued to DM her after her death looking for closure, with that 4chan hacker writing a lengthy post claiming to have been told by a friend of K.I.'s in the DMs that they believed King Von was her killer. Bear in mind, this information was floating around all the way back in 2016, 2 years after the murder and 3 years before the documentary. However, eventually, a whole year after Von's death, in 2021, the Chicago police would release documents revealing that they believed King Von himself to be K.I.'s killer, with apparently multiple witnesses pinning Von as the shooter, but unfortunately, the state decided not to prosecute, stating that the case simply wouldn't meet the burden of proof to secure a conviction. So, King Von would be released back on the streets after having allegedly killed the girl he had seemingly spent years hunting down. But only a month and a half later, Von would go on to catch yet another murder, which would finally land him in jail, and just briefly putting a stop to his serialized killings.
This nigga don't stop, bro.
After being questioned about the KI murder and being released with no consequences, King Von felt invincible. The month is May 2014, and Von had seemingly killed a total of 6 people at this point. As usual, he'd be on Twitter non-stop, hinting at his actions in the streets, asking God for forgiveness for killing his ops, and saying that he shoots first and asks questions later. He would tweet that he's in a different league when it comes to killing, and others need to catch up, and telling the world that he's always armed and ready for his ops. Clearly Von was active in the streets, as well as on Twitter, claiming to be driving through his ops area literally as he was tweeting, and saying that he has an itchy trigger finger. Von would claim that anybody can get smoked for the right price or cause, warning his ops not to come near him or he will shoot. Von would claim to never be putting his gun down because too many people have died in the gang war, taunting his ops, saying he knows that they want him, but it's not his time to die. Von would even repost a viral clip from Worldstar titled "When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong," a video apparently showing a group of people filming themselves going to Chief Keef's neighborhood and getting shot at. A clip that people would later claim was actually King Von doing the shooting.
McDonald's, where the fuck is O-Block at, man? Where the fuck is Shorty and them at, man? Shorty and them ain't out here. On Jaja, where the fuck is Shorty and them at? Oh, he got pop on.
I mean, just imagine having the balls to shoot at people and then retweet the Worldstar video of you shooting at them. The same day as this, Von would claim that he's buying guns with 100-round magazines and wondering who he's going to shoot, as well as saying that he'd been gangbanging all day and now he's tired out. The following day, Von would tweet saying that others wouldn't do half of the stuff that he's done and plans to do in the streets. Von would say that he plans to keep scoring until he wins. Only 2 days after that, Von would find himself attempting to score again. On the 29th of May, 2014, an afternoon party would be going on at 5722 South LaSalle Street. Von would attend this party where he spotted 2 members from the rival gang. At this point, the mother of the person whose birthday party it was apparently told Von not to stop trouble in her house, with Von saying that he wouldn't and leave it. Von would leave the party and go and get a friend, Big Mike, apparently telling another person who was still at the party on the phone that he was coming back and that they should take the children inside. Von and Big Mike would return to that party, parking down the street and approaching a group of 3 men outside the house, opening fire. 3 of those men would be hit by gunshots, whilst Von chased them, allegedly yelling, "Why are you running?" And when the shooting stopped, a 19-year-old man by the name of Malcolm Stuckey would be declared dead with a gunshot wound to the head. The Chicago police would respond to the shooting at 6:10 p.m. ultimately hitting 3 people for only killing Malcolm, who allegedly wasn't the intended target or even involved in the gang war. Perhaps this is why we never hear King Von in his career disrespecting or saying that he's smoking Malcolm like he did to many of the other people that he was rumoured to have killed, but there would still be hints at his involvement. Only 12 minutes before he'd officially be pronounced dead, Von would tweet saying that he has some issues, but he cannot tell a soul about them. Meanwhile, Boss Top from O-Block would tweet that Von is the guy who sits people down if they run up. Now, it would take nearly 2 months for the authorities to connect Von to this murder, and during this time, he would continue to be prolific posting on Twitter. He would tweet that he was on the block with his gun in the early hours of the morning, just the day after the murder of Malcolm, and tweeting that all of the things that people are hearing about are him. He's the one responsible. He would tweet saying that he's killed...
I pause this right. I wanted something, right? Did King Von even sell drugs, bro?
No.
Like, what did he do for money, bro? Like, did he sell drugs? Like, was he they never say he robbed nobody. He just popping niggas and moving. Like,
that's how you...
So many
because I don't really
listen
listen to his music. Like, he raps about selling drugs.
He'd also tweet that it's all fun and games until somebody you know is no longer breathing. And he would tweet saying that he did all of this on parole and just wait until he gets off with a demon emoji. And in another deleted tweet that was apparently reposted by somebody else, Von openly tweeted saying that he wanted to go on an all-out killing spree. However, King Von's crime spree would ultimately be cut short on prom night of all nights. Von would be pictured holding a gun at O-Block in his suit in the hours before prom, and he would even tweet warning people not to try him while he's dressed in his suit. Von would then end up doing a shooting in his prom suit with witnesses describing his outfit, ultimately leading to his arrest. Von's last tweet would be on June the 7th, 2014, the ominous statement, loose screws get nailed. He would end up being arrested on firearms charges on prom night, and then the following month, on the 22nd of July 2014, Von's accomplice in the murder of Malcolm Stuckey, Big Mike, ended up getting charged with murder and being taken in for questioning by the police. Then, 2 days later, on July the 24th, 2014, King Von, already in jail, would be charged with 1 count of first-degree murder for the killing of Malcolm Stuckey and 2 counts of attempted murder for the other 2 people shot in that incident. Von's arrest for this crime would attract significant media coverage, and he would remain in jail awaiting trial from June 2014 to December 2017. And during that time, his people would tweet from his Twitter account saying that they missed him, asking for visitors to come see him on his birthday, and posting clips and pictures of him in jail during his visits.
Yes! No, I'm not. You got the money from Mama? No, it's still a whole car.
Ugly.
But while Von was in jail, he would raise hell, apparently helping to start a huge fire on the wing in April 2017. He would constantly get into fights with his ops, apparently never turning down confrontations.
That's why I can say Von had over 20 fights in that bitch. He was... He talk about jail. He talk about that shit like it's a rite of passage. Like every nigga that was a street nigga like him, he was like, jail was coming. Yeah, that's why he was always in that bitch, because he never cared about jail. That's how he was able to be the type of nigga he was in the streets, because some of these savages, like, and you supposed to do shit with that in the back of your mind, like, knowing, like, man, this shit go south, I'm gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
Well, shorty sliding up on motherfucker like the police don't even exist. He just smoke you broad day.
Von would remain in jail for an extended period of time, around 3.5 years in total. And during his time in jail, he picked up the nickname Grandson, apparently for his resemblance in image as well as temperament to the Black Disciples founder David Barksdale, also known as King David. It's obvious that King Von took a lot of inspiration from the original founder of the gang that he repped, the Black Disciples. Not only going by the name King Von, but also frequently saying David Barksdale's nickname, often ending sentences by saying, "on King David."
On King David.
Also, while Von was in jail awaiting trial, the conflicts in the streets would continue to play out, and Von would eventually get the worst news imaginable. His right-hand man, T. Roy, would be shot and killed in a convenience store. Von would later open up about the very moment that he got the news about T. Roy's death while he was in jail.
Yeah, R.I.P. T. Roy, man, that was my best friend. I got that nigga on my neck. That's how strong that shit. I got him gang banging on my neck. That's how we was gang banging up.
With Von saying that he completely broke down crying when he found out that his right-hand man T-Roy was gone.
This is my dog. Before they killed my dog, I was locked up. Killed me, I broke down. I ain't cried so long. But every day, this is my nigga, you know I'm in jail. I'm fighting the murder and shit. I call this nigga every day. This my right-hand man. So I'm telling him like, all right, now since he go, we can tell him, he can get that. Man, I'm gonna get you out, Von. I'm gonna get you out, man. Whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna get you out. I swear to God. You know, but we in the streets, you know how that shit go. So he trying to hustle, he trying to rob, all type. He doing whatever he can do. I'm gonna get you a lawyer, bro. I got you, you know. He be telling me to give me a shot. I be calling, man, don't even worry about it, man. Just look, just you make sure you know. I mean, I'm gonna figure this shit out. Just be cool out there. I call folks. It's like, it's on like Valentine's Day, you see what I'm saying? I call my mama back. And she crying and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? What you crying
I
for?
never
You
like
good?
showing up heard your talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the little clips and
shot
snippets.
T-Roy.
But I never like showed up heard
What?
him speak like talk.
Who? What? Look at the phone. You know how that shit go. You in jail, you can tell. Hold on. What? Now we calling. Remember what's going on? He got hit once. Some shit. Oh, damn. What the fuck going on out there? T-Roy got shot. Look, this is the thing. Y'all don't know T-Roy. Y'all gotta leave our history of T-Roy. Y'all don't know. T-Roy got to go further. That's T-Roy. That's T-Roy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know T-Roy like I know T-Roy. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear he gets shot on, the fuck he don't want to talk me like don't be lacking. Don't be, you know? He was telling me he used to be on each other, you know what I'm saying? Because me and him, we back to back. That's my boy, you know what I'm saying? Both got shot. I said, hold on. I said, the streets, hold on. Who got shot? Who? Nah, he a gangster. He got shot before. He a gangster. They said folks ain't make it on phone them out. I play it out, you know me. You know, you gotta play it out. You in jail, so all type of goofy ass niggas around. You know, these niggas 30, these niggas. All of your business on King David, I walk it off. I'm just walking around in circles on the deck, you know. And they put their arm around me. When I'm like, damn, you good, bro? You good? What's wrong with you, Vaughn? Yeah, I'm good. What's wrong? You got a phone, man? I'm good, you know. They what happened? I mean, they just killed T-Roy. Who? He what? I'm T-Roy. They just killed T-Roy. Oh, I got to break it down on King David. That shit. I couldn't help it. They hugging me. These some real niggas. You see what I'm saying? We grown ass men. Supposed to grab me to hold me and shit. You get to there, you gonna be alright, shorty. You gonna be alright. Oh, hold on, boy. That's my best friend, boy. You tell me they just killed my best friend while I'm in jail. I'm in that bitch finna go crazy. Oh, I'm in that bitch don't know what's going on. I'm in that bitch getting that. Who the fuck is y'all? I'm in that bitch mad on. Oh yeah, I'm in that bitch getting that. Nah, not my best friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that bitch getting that. If he get got, there ain't a lot of hope for a lot of niggas, cause he be. Y'all know how folks see us, man. Niggas know T-Roy. Oh, niggas know T-Roy. Oh, let me see who. The guys is looking like, ooh, this nigga preaching on. Oh, don't trip, you know. Y'all know this that street shit. The street niggas watching me like, damn, this nigga talking about some shit. I know, yeah, this is street shit. Y'all better pay attention. I ain't gonna keep doing it. But this shit don't supposed to be for free.
Von would take T-Roy's death very seriously. Even after becoming a famous rapper, he would threaten to kill trolls who would DM him mocking T-Roy on his birthday.
Fuck how you feel? You a shorty on, I'll kill you. Yo, as a little boy, I'll choke you out my motherfucking hands and beat the shit out you.
Like what?
And then that shit fool you, boy. I drop my motherfucking location on you. Will pull up, I'll kill you for real, man. Yo ass HFE Larry. Yo ass a goofy, man. Yo ass is a bitch, boy. Stop fucking playing me. Go play with somebody else, bro. I'll fuck you up for real. I don't even play like that, gang. For real.
Despite spending 3.5 years in jail, eventually Von would finally face trial for the murder of Malcolm Stuckey. Von's family tweeted from his Twitter account in November 2017 that they had been attending his trial at court. And despite what was originally thought to be a clear-cut case, Von's co-defendant would end up implicating himself and Von in the crime in an attempt to secure a deal with prosecutors, but ultimately backing out of that deal at the last minute, leaving prosecutors scrambling for any evidence that would actually implicate Von in the murder. Allegedly, eyewitnesses who saw Von that night failed to testify, and King Von would even later rap about the situation on the track What's Next, saying that they killed the only witness and that Big Mike was the only one who spoke. This turn of events would see King Von being acquitted of all charges due to lack of evidence, and Big Mike himself going down for 16 years, plus an extra 12 for backing out of a deal with prosecutors, so a total of 28 years. After this, King Von would be a free man once again, beating a body and returning to the streets of Chicago with his freedom and a clean slate. The family of Malcolm Stuckey would later admonish Von on social media for getting away with this gruesome murder and going on to become a rapper.
Dang.
But, as we'll soon learn, Von had zero shame about the things that he had done in the streets. In fact, he would wear the badge of a killer who beat a body with pride. And after killing an alleged 7 people in total, when Von got out of jail, it would be time for a new beginning, as the newly free King Von would take all of his stories from being a killer on the streets of Chicago and put them into songs. Becoming a Chicago drill rapper with so much credibility as a gangster, his music simply could not be ignored. And soon, all over Chicago and around the world, Von's name would be ringing, as people would begin to discover what appeared to be the realest gangster rapper who ever lived. After being acquitted of all charges in the murder of Malcolm Stuckey, King Von would walk out of jail a free man once again around the 6th of December 2017, being seen walking fresh out of the gates on social media. Von would also return to Twitter as well as the streets, telling 16 Shot and Visuals that his friend E-Dog from O-Block picked him up and the first thing they did was go and buy a gun.
On the block. Okay, give me, Eat all around the block.
At the time of his release, Von wasn't yet a rapper. It's unclear if Von ever really had aspirations of transitioning from shooter to rapper. On the one hand, there's old tweets where he perhaps jokingly said that him and T-Roy had planned to release music, but nothing ever materialized. On the other hand, he had also tweeted that if he ever starts rapping, you should kill the person closest to you, because something ain't right. So it's safe to say that at least initially, Von's plans were not music. At least not for himself, because one person who hadn't forgotten Von during his long 3.5 years in jail was his childhood friend and Chicago rap superstar Lil Durk, who had tweeted his support for Von whilst he was still in jail fighting his charges, and apparently calling him regularly, even providing money for a lawyer. Durk would welcome Von home from jail with open